How's it, guys? This is Davey FPL and welcome back to the Deadline with Davey live stream. I do apologize for being a few minutes late, just had to sort out a few things. Sorting out those things didn't relate to the transfers though, as I didn't make any transfers last night and therefore I didn't manage to get that Cole Palmer price drop. So yes, we're going to be making a few transfers here because Strand Larsen apparently is also missing the Everton game. So it might be quite an interesting deadline stream. So as I mentioned, sorry for being a bit late. I will talk faster though, so we get through the same amount of questions that we would. And welcome back to the normal Saturday morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you guys are around the world, deadline streams. So a bit more back to kind of normality with these deadline streams. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your Saturday so far. If you're not enjoying your Saturday, don't worry. FPL is going to make you feel so much better about your weekend. Probably not. It's probably going to be a terrible weekend once again, but we can only hope. As you guys can see just above my head there, 0.0 in the bank and a rank of 7.4 million. Now don't worry. If you guys are stressed about that, it's only 2 game weeks of FPL. We have a whole bunch of time to catch that up. And with double chips, I think the rank rises are going to be even faster in the first half of the season. So don't stress about it. I know it's not the best start, but at least it's hopefully the only way is up. I don't want to say too much about that and then jinx it, but hopefully it can only get better from here. And come game week 38, which is the only rank that does matter, we're looking a bit happier by then. So just let me know if the audio and the video are sounding good and I guess looking good. Let me just get everything set up here, get the chat on screen. I think we can actually move this mic a bit closer. Let's move it out the way there. And as mentioned, did any of you guys actually do the Cole Palmer move last night? Because I think then you're probably feeling a little bit happier. I just didn't really know what I wanted to do. That's kind of why I prolonged it. And the only time the price rise was predicted to increase was at like 4 a.m. my time. So I'm not going to lie, I have better things to do than wait till 4 a.m. Mainly sleep. So I was asleep when Cole Palmer's price rise did go ahead. And that's a bit unfortunate. But at this stage of the season, 0.1 doesn't make that much of a difference. I know it might make your decision seem a little bit better this morning, but at the end of the day, if the player you bring in doesn't score and the player that you thought about as well does, you're still going to be upset. So I'm pretty content with kind of missing it, but I just hope that we get some more information between now and then, because otherwise I just could have done it last night. Let's just say, how's it to people in chat quick? So Siddharth was first in chat, saying let's go. Jay saying must start on the Palmer price drop. Pain already in this game before it's even started. Don't worry, Jay. If you get a green arrow, I'm sure that frown will be turned upside down. Samir saying let's go. Gia saying good morning, Davey. Good morning to you too. FPL Hits is coming in early with a question, saying how's it, Davey? 2 free transfers. Have done Palmer to Saar already and now thinking about using the other free transfer for Reinders to either Kudus/Barnes. Or do Gay to Wood/Mateta. Please suggest, good luck. So Hits, it depends on your team, but I don't think I would do the Reinders move. The Gay to Wood or Mateta move makes sense if you don't have a good bench sort of player. So if you look at my team, and that's actually assuming you have Strand Larsen. If you don't have Strand Larsen, then you could actually just do one transfer. So if you just kind of give me your other striker to make more sense of this. But if you have Strand Larsen and he's going to miss out, then it almost makes sense to maybe take out Mark Gay. But it just depends on the rest of your team. It's quite hard for me to make an assessment with that. And you also tempted about Harvey Barnes. That's okay. I mean, I don't know. Newcastle might be a little bit of a void because of how they look at the moment. Watkins' price drop was crazy. But yeah, I mean, he hasn't performed, I guess. People are going to switch off him. Tracy's saying going to a Brian the Dubai Heat. That sounds like a good way to start. And you've made a nice dessert, so enjoy it. Hopefully you can make a little bit of the deadline stream. Just let me know if you're going to head off early and I can give you my suggestions. Linus is saying the season feels like climbing Mount Everest. Need my Sherpa, Davey. Let me just string on 10 bags on my back and I'll take the donkey up with me. You know, hopefully we're going to rise that rank to the top. But let's see. Let's climb up those ranks, says Adam as well. Elohim is saying Van der Ven, Aitnari, Neco Williams, Munoz, bench 1. Out of those options, I probably would bench Van der Ven. Like it's a pretty comfortable answer for me. Dark weekend loading. Hopefully you talk about the weather where you are, because this weekend should be a weekend full of happiness, haddies, and green arrows. That's what I'm hoping for. Gucci says we're hits. Adam also saying sound is good. Philippe is saying hello Davey, good luck and have fun. Nice to see you, Philippe. Hopefully you're doing well. And then Christian has been a legend member for 36 months. That's the big 3 years. Good luck this game week, Davey. That's a classic. Has a 3 anniversary and just drops the good luck. I mean, what an absolute gent. Thanks a lot, Christian, for the support and the continued support. I mean, 3 years is insane. Hopefully I can make this rank look a little bit better for you, but hopefully you just have a great season. Found a coffee shop in Osaka just to join your live stream real quick. Show that chocolate milk and I will go. Vincent, here's the chocolate milk. Now get out of here and go enjoy Osaka. That sounds like a lot better time than talking about FPL. But yeah, hopefully having a good trip there, Vincent. And hopefully you're going to be achieving a green arrow as well with as little focus to your team as possible. Ace is saying, I've taken a -4 to change Watkins, Rogers, Palmer to Anderson. Anderson? Star? I think that's a different player. Oh, Shaw. That's what probably be saying. Shaw and Haaland. So you're welcome for the Watkins haul incoming. Okay, Ace. I mean, it's tough. Like I guess if you have no faith in Aston Villa, it does make sense. I do understand the Haaland move because I feel like Haaland is a very comfortable captain this week. If you guys do have Haaland, I would captain him. But yeah, so that it just depends on that. But I do understand. Yeah, Japan is actually on the top of my bucket list. It's just a bit far from South Africa, so it takes a little bit of a flight. But definitely on the bucket list as mentioned, and hopefully we'll get there soon. Davey live stream Osaka. I've never been to Osaka, so I can't judge, but just off my impression, I probably would say Osaka might be better. Gid is saying, would you take in Haaland for Watkins for a -4? So my take on a -4 is always pretty simple. If you want to captain Haaland, it just makes the -4 that much easier because you're basically doubling the chance of getting that -4 back. I like the move. I think if you can do it for a straight swap, it makes sense, but for a -4, it is okay. I still feel like Watkins could come good. I still like those Aston Villa fixtures. Let me just bring this stream back up here and let's talk about those fixtures for Man City. Can you guys see this? Okay, you can see it. Okay, you actually can't see it. You can kind of see it, but so let me just extend this a little bit so that you guys can take note. Okay, so if I just duck away, so you've got Brighton, United, Arsenal. Burnley is a great fixture, but that's what we'll talk about free at 6 because that seems like a current strategy that people are going for. Or what you can do is you can bring in Haaland for Salah, game week 6, and then you get him for Brentford, Everton, which looks pretty strong. And if we do look at Salah's fixtures around there. Okay, so game week 6, 7, and 8, he has Crystal Palace away, Chelsea away, and then United at home. I know that United game is probably not that bad. Chelsea's also not that bad. Crystal Palace is not that bad. But if you're going to captain Haaland against Burnley, you can take out Salah after Everton, and then you can get some pretty good fixtures. So that does look okay. Then maybe around game week 13, if you're on a wild card, you can go back to Salah. A lot of information can be had by then. Let's just say Isaac joins for the Burnley-Everton game and he looks sensational. You can maybe switch some funds around there or something like that. So I'm not locking myself into free at 6, and I don't think that you guys have to bring in Haaland. I think wait till game week 6 for that information. But I think that Watkins could still come good. The only thing is that you're not going to captain Watkins at the moment. So if you think that Haaland's going to outscore him in the medium term, then I think it's okay. But I'm willing to keep Ollie Watkins probably till about game week 7. Then we can take him out. And then that's where that kind of Salah move comes in, because we can always take out, we can almost maybe switch him around, maybe game week 6 here, but I guess then he has Burnley. So we'll just see. Maybe game week 8, we'll take out Watkins. But yes, we have to do transfers. We have to do transfers this stream, because if you look at my team, there's concern about Palmer, he's not going to play. And now there's concern about Strand Larsen, who wasn't at the Wolves team hotel. So it seems like he's out for Everton. And I'm not comfortable playing Richards and Esteve or Richards Mark Gay. So I'm definitely doing one transfer, but I'm probably doing two. And you guys would have seen that in my team selection. It's Saar probably for Palmer, and then it's Wood or Mateta up front, but I'm leaning towards Chris Wood. So I left that dramatic pause there. If anyone's noticed, yes, I am actually looking at Chris Wood. I'm finally bringing him in. I'm gone from doubter to believer. Jurgen Klopp transformation. Is it too much to captain Chris Wood? That's a question I'm asking. Is it too far to captain Chris Wood against West Ham? Currently, it's on Bruno Fernandes, but I think we all saw how United have been these last few games. Get well soon. Thanks, Fanta. I do appreciate it. It's going to be a lot of a long stretch on the recovery, but I mean, it is what it is. We did it for the love of the game. I mean, it's pretty much my first injury that I've had. So, Laz, thank you for the confidence. I think so as well. I actually had someone ask me, they were like, "How are you feeling about the rank?" But I'm pretty content. I'm not stressing. I don't really think. What size do you wear on the shirt? You need a captain Wood and order his shirt after his hat-trick coming. Linus, I could. Usually I take a large, so if you do work at the Nottingham Forest players store, whatever, just put a large aside there with the Chris Wood on the back, because maybe we'll have to get that Hattie. They have been bad, but I know, and this doesn't make sense at all, but when a team is playing badly, there's always a turnaround point, and maybe that comes against Forest, but I mean, you'd rather captain against a team that looks pretty tragic than a team that's doing well, because there could always be that switch to them doing badly as well. I don't know. It's just something in my mind. I'll try not break. I don't think I'm a bad luck charm at this moment. I think maybe a few more game weeks of red arrows and I could be a bad luck charm, but I think I haven't broken any players at the moment. But yeah, as Tarang is saying, you did hear it right. I don't know. I think he has potential to go large. I feel like though it's because Bruno and United look pretty bad. If you upgrade Gay to Wood, who would you have bench? Yeah, so that's the only concern about this. And let me maybe bring up like a planning website here. Let me just remember my team ID. I think it's this one. Yeah, okay, so let's go over here. Just give me a second to change around the team. So this is FPL.team if you guys don't know it. I can actually zoom in here. Okay, cool. So you guys can see the team there. Okay, so for this week, it's going to be Richards out and then Pedro Porro in for Esteve. Okay, so then let's just plan some moves. Let's just, for example, say I do Chris Wood and I do Saar, because at the moment that looks like the moves I'm leaning more towards. Okay, so Palmer out for Saar. And then Strand Larsen on the bench, and then we'll bring in Chris Wood for Gay, and then Strand Larsen on the bench. So this would be the team for this week, just obviously captain dependent. Pretty comfortable with how this team looks. I could start Strand Larsen over Saar, but I kind of feel like Strand Larsen will be out anyways. So then game week 4, what comes around is going to be a bit of rotation concern. So I do agree with you on that front. This might be the only week that looks a little bit tough. And we'll have to just assess what kind of the team looks like. In terms of benching, I guess I could bench Chris Wood here. But I could also just bench Strand Larsen if need be. Newcastle's not the best game away from home. That's probably the only week that I'm a little bit concerned about who to actually play, because from then on, we can just bench Reinders here against Arsenal. I'm pretty comfortable with that bench. Choosing here, we might bench Richards against West Ham. It's also a pretty okay fixture, so we might just contemplate and see what happens there. That looks okay. Then game week 6, the team does look pretty certain here. I think benching Saar makes sense. Strand Larsen against Pedro Porro isn't optimal, but what we could do in this situation is we could maybe try and see if we can bring in an Erling Haaland. It might be easier said than done though, because he's so expensive. But we could take out Strand Larsen. I know we might miss out on Sunderland, Burnley, but we want to captain Haaland. Take out Salah. It gives us 7.6 in the bank. That's quite a bit of money to splash. That could be something that we do. And then let's just say, I don't know who we would go for here. Let me just pick someone that's 7.6. I don't know who has a. Let's just say it's Semenyo, just for the sake of the stream. Then after that, we could just keep this. The team does look semi-okay. We can now sub in Saar back in. Who do we bench? I don't know. Maybe we bench Chris Wood here. It basically, I know it's a concern, but it's the way I'm looking at it is that it's a concern that I would rather have than not, just because it means my team is looking okay. It looks pretty stacked. But I do get the concern about some potential rotation. It's just I do kind of maybe want Strand Larsen for more of like a medium term. He has some good fixtures coming up. But if you want to take out Strand Larsen and keep the team structure, that's also okay. What you can also do then, instead of going for Chris Wood or Mateta, you can go for a Gyökeres, because you can afford him then. Michael, why not João Pedro? It's just the fact that even if I was looking at a Gyökeres, I just prefer Chris Wood with those fixtures. It's like ridiculous the next four. I know it's Arsenal game week 4, but it's West Ham. Okay, let me just extend this a bit. Sorry. It's West Ham, Burnley, and Sunderland. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that, to be honest. So yeah, I like João Pedro as well. If you guys do want to go there 100%, there's no kind of right answer. It's just I can't look away from those fixtures at the moment. Anderson versus Ndai, I would probably just go Anderson. If it does lock you out of a Nottingham Forest spot, then that's a different story. But if you do have maybe one more available, if you do want a Chris Wood, then I think Anderson could be worth it at that price tag. What if Newcastle gets Strand Larsen? Will he not be a good asset to have? I guess if Newcastle do get Strand Larsen, and that's why I was hoping for some more confirmation, I probably would take him out instead. But that also opens it up. So then, you know, when we were looking at potentially bringing in Haaland in a few weeks' time, we could actually just bring in Haaland for Strand Larsen and get a cheaper midfielder for Salah. So that does leave us open. So if he does go to Newcastle, I think he would be a worse option just because I think their new striker will be first choice. But we don't even know if Isaac's leaving. I don't know. I think Isaac will leave. I don't know. You guys can give me your opinion. Let's actually do a captaincy poll though quickly. Okay, wait. First of all, what we're going to do, let's first of all go and look at the projected goals. And then maybe this changes some of your guys' minds about captaincy. Okay, I'm just going to bring it to the far left so that you guys get a better indication of the numbers. Okay, so the moral of the story is that a few teams have dropped down a bit. We've seen Man City. I think Man City have a little bit of a less projected goals now, 1.83. Chelsea also pretty strong, 1.9. So João Pedro we've mentioned. Could João Pedro actually be a captaincy option? Could be. United are still top though, 2.25, which is interesting. I would say that the favorite goal scorers, but their recent form hasn't been fantastic. And I just kind of feel like the odds never favor Nottingham Forest, but I would probably have them a bit higher here against West Ham because of their form. In terms of the clean sheets, lovely to see that Nottingham Forest are now joint first, as I do have 2 of their defenders, so they are on 40%. United also up there, 40%. Sanchez, 37%. Aston Villa, 36%, which I don't like, considering the fact that Mateta, I'm bringing in Saar potentially. I would have put Crystal Palace maybe a little bit higher there, as well as Aston Villa not being that great recently, but their odds are also up there. 1.59 isn't too great for a double up of Rodgers and Watkins. I mean, Newcastle, we spoke about Harvey Barnes here. Also, the odds aren't great against Leeds. I mean, 1.4 against Leeds is pretty terrible. I would think against a newly promoted side, your projections should be a lot higher there. But you guys can go there if you want to. Then the big one is going to be Liverpool. So 1.56 versus 1.35. Gyökeres, I mean, you're not going to favor him for this fixture, but it's basically for the medium term. And then Salah, I mean, could we go for Salah captain? If he's involved in 1.5 goals, I mean, he probably is a good asset, but there's just no guarantee on that front. And then there are some other interesting games. I won't lie, there's a lot of games that look simply terrible. I mean, Sunderland, Brentford looks bad. Wolves, Everton looks bad. Leeds, Newcastle also looks bad, but there are a few goal-scoring games, hopefully. But even the goal-scoring games aren't that high. So there's not really like a standout fixture this week besides United. And they're not great at the moment, but it is Burnley. They could do something. It's tough. It's tough. Captaincy this week is super tough. I also want to shout out Spurs because people have been mentioning Kudos against Bournemouth. 1.78 is pretty decent. So they're also looking quite high. Okay, so what you guys can do now is look at these numbers. And now I want you to tell me who's your captain. Because I think captaincy is pretty split this week. Bench Tarkowski or Van der Ven? I'd bench Van der Ven. Tarkowski, I would just play him every single game. He's just getting bonus points a lot. I mean, those DEFCON points. So who's the captain options? Okay, so Haaland. I'm just going to say United because if you want to captain Bruno, if you want to captain Cunha, there's not that much difference in there for me. Who is another option? Who's another captaincy option this week? Let's say Chris Wood. I think these are the options that we would probably say. Okay, so I guess you could captain JP, João Pedro. Just don't vote. If you want to captain someone that's not on this list, I would just not vote. Otherwise, vote for the next favorite option. Your next favorite option. So let me know your captaincy choices in the poll that I've just posted. I just want to check Twitter quickly if there's been any transfer news. I don't see anything as of now, but as always, you guys can tag me if you do see anything. Yeah, I don't see any team sheet news, but you guys can let me know. There has been a fake rumor, it looks like, about Newcastle, so I don't know if I trust that one. Don't trust United. Pedro captain for me. Is the early kickoff not making you doubt? That's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to put it out there. It is the early kickoff, but I don't think that you guys should be basing your captain on the early kickoff. I just go for whatever you think is the best option. But it is something that's been put out there. Let's just say that. Hey, how's it going? Bench Saw or Verts? That's a tough one. Based on the projected goals, it would be Saw. Verts just hasn't been that great though. I still feel like I would play Verts over Saw, just because Verts is on set pieces, that sort of thing. Defo don't trust United, awful team. A lot of don't trust Uniteds in chat. Saka and Palmer out for Semenyo and Utara, or Saw Kudos. I like Semenyo. I don't think there's much between Semenyo and Saw, as well as Kudos. I think they're all pretty similar. It's just kind of a more fixture play. I think on paper there, I'd probably say Saw Kudos, just because we're a little bit unsure about Brentford at the moment, Bilal. Trey's saying, don't forget to like or subscribe. If you guys are enjoying the stream, you can drop it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. But I'm pretty sure most of you guys in the chat probably have subscribed. Salah does well historically at Anfield against Arsenal. So Dylan, I think Percy as a Liverpool fan, this is my expectation, is Liverpool can't defend at the moment. Look, there's going to be some changes in midfield with McAllister back, that sort of thing. We could be a bit more secure, but I think it's going to be quite an attacking output from Liverpool. And therefore, I think Salah's an okay option. I think Wirtz is an okay option. I don't think it's going to be as cagey, but it could be. That's the thing. Is if at halftime it's 0-0, it wouldn't surprise me if it ends like that full time. Will Reece James play? I don't know. Let me go and just check here for you quick. I'm a bit unsure about Reece James. Has he been in Chelsea predicted lineups? Let me just go check quickly for you. Just skim through here. Yeah, so James is in this predicted lineup. Yeah, Reece James, it looks like there's Reece James in a few projected lineups here. So I'd probably say he's okay. His minutes aren't great on expected minutes. Replace Palmer. Sorry, says Northy, no worries. You've said I've got Saar already. Who do you think I should replace Palmer with? Also was thinking about doing Gay out for Wood as well. So if you already have Saar, I think Semenyo is great and I think Kudus is great. Those are probably the two that you look at. Just out of those two, who you prefer. Yep, don't do the early kickoff, says Connor. Wilson is saying, regardless, Isaac, I think we should bring in a -4 for Ekatike. Yeah, so that was my plan initially, but if Isaac joins, it diminishes Ekatike's return just because of the unknowns. Is he going to play left? Is Isaac going to play left? I don't know. I just can't predict that. Mr. Radu, what's the plan? 2 free transfers, probably. Saar in for Palmer and Chris Wood in for Mark Gay. Adam Palmer is saying, Palmer/Bowen to Barnes/Pedro leaves 4.2 in the bank to upgrade Gay next week. I have double Forest defense, so Bowen out before Cunha. Yes, I think Bowen out, and I like, because you have that plan, like let's for example say I had Bowen, or I had a striker that was injured for the long term. I would take them out before Mark Gay just because it gives you that team structure you're talking about. So yeah, I would do Palmer, Bowen out. I don't know about Barnes though. Pedro's fine. But if you backing Barnes, maybe just wait, because there was a room. It's from this account has been wrong so many times, but there was something about Barnes. So that's my only concern, Adam. But otherwise, I like it. I just feel like you can, instead of Barnes, go for Semenyo, Saar, that sort of thing. Mohammed saying, I have Reinders, Bruno Salah, Saar. Whom should I bring in for Palmer? I'd probably go Semenyo then. Siddharth has been a legend member for 42 months. Absolutely insane. We're nearly approaching that 4-year anniversary. Let's get a massive Green Arrow Boss triple digit score and triple digit rank. That's going to be a bit tough from 7.4 million, but we can dream. Connor saying, hope you're doing well. I may have missed this, but what's your thinking about Wood over Pedro? It's just because of the fixtures. Those 4 fixtures next, minus Arsenal, so 3 out of the next 4, they're just too hard to ignore. I mean, if you were to play basically what fixtures you want your striker to have, it looks like that to me. 25 minutes to go. Yes, that is true. I'll try. I don't think the stream is going to crash. I don't think the site's going to crash, so we can go for 10 minutes, 15 minutes before. Have you considered Barnes or Elanga, Adam? I have. I just don't know. 100 men versus 10 gorillas. So now it's been upped. 10 gorillas, I think, would win. Who would you start in your team, says Christian, and would you do one transfer? I have 0.4 in the bank. Okay, let me check for you. I'll only do this for you, Christian, because it's your 3rd anniversary. Okay. The team's not bad. The only thing I think I might do is I might play Wirtz over Richards. I think I would do that, but your team does look okay. Like, I understand why you can bench Palmer because the rest of your team looks solid. Yeah, I would play Wirtz. I'd play Wirtz over Richards, Christian, and I don't think you have to make a transfer. I think you're fine. Xavi taking Brennan's place. So, Giroud, it's a bit tough to say, but that's what's been rumored potentially, is that Kudos will keep his spot. There might be some rotation around the rest of the forwards. It just depends where Xavi Simons does play. Because he sometimes can play a little bit deeper, or he can play more attacking. That's what I saw. Fernandez 12 plus. Is that 12 plus points? What's your plan? Currently saw in... Okay, let me actually just go back to the team. I think that you guys have witnessed the projected goals for too long. Okay, cool. There's the team. So the current plan is Palmer out, and then it's going to be Mark Geu out. That's the current plan. And then we'll bench Trent Larson. I'll probably play Trent Larson and put Saul on the bench, and then just hope that he does well. Or who should we put on the bench? Actually, no, I don't want to get into that. The captain, though, is, I don't know. I think I might just stick with Bruno. Sadesh is saying, how's it going? Joined late. What's the plan? Missed the price changes last night. That stings a bit, yeah. It is a bit unfortunate. The plan is Saw in. And Saw in and then Chris Wood in. I'm on wildcard. Would you have Van Dijk and Kluivert or De Ligt replacing and Reinders instead of Kluivert? I don't think I'd have Kluivert because apparently Kluivert is going to miss this game potentially. So I wouldn't go for Kluivert. I think Van Dijk is nailed though. Even if the fixtures aren't great, I would have Van Dijk in the team. Keep Saw on the bench, yeah. That's probably what I'll do. And then hopefully he just scores some off the bench. Actually, what I should do is I should do Semenyo. I should do Semenyo and I should bench Semenyo because Semenyo always got points on my bench last season. João Pedro or Chris Wood captain? I just go Chris Wood because of the early kickoff. I mean, it sounds dumb. Actually, what I also wanted to showcase here is these are the projected goal scorers. So Chris Wood's pretty high. Erling Haaland is top though if you guys do have him, and that's why I said I would probably just captain him. Bruno Fernandes is a little bit lower here at 0.38, but obviously he doesn't have that assisting threat. Sorry if you guys can't see the entire lineup. Actually, I can just move this. There we go. So this does assume a start though. Also from Rob TFPL. So these are the projected goal scorers, and that's why I'm quite bullish on Chris Wood to score. I think he should be fine, but also João Pedro's up there if you guys do like him. Annoying though that Trent Larson is not playing because I actually liked him against Everton. I thought he was going to be a good option. Let's just check. Ye old Twitter with 20 minutes to go. Yeah, I don't see anything. I guess there won't be that many. There won't be that much team news dropping. Palmer dropped in price. Hey, he did. Okay, so in terms of the captaincy poll now, Haaland is on 17%. United, which is going to be Cunha, I assume, and Bruno, probably more on Bruno's side, is 39%. Salah is 13%, so still some ownership. What is interesting for me is the fact that Haaland and Salah are semi-close. And then we have Chris Wood on 30%. So that is pretty strong. Chris Wood on 30%. Okay, Arthur. Yeah, that's fine then. That's okay. If you really like Kluivert. Okay, Giroud. Kluivert likely on the bench. Okay, that's fine then. Yeah, so if he did play in the League Cup, then that's okay. But yeah, it just always sounds weird bringing in a player and then benching them, but that's fine. Brendan Johnson or Kudos this week? Kudos. What's the plan with the chips? At the moment, it's going to be to try and hold out as long as possible. If we get to game week 6 and the team is looking bad, we could free it then. Otherwise, I'm planning maybe wildcarding on game week 13, Bench boost also be around that sort of window, and then triple captain just whenever there's a great option that arises. Give us a few tips for the free hit, please. If you're on the free hit, there's certain fixtures I would target. I think I would target the United game and just hope that United do well. I think that Spurs also could be a punt with someone like a Kudos. I would also maybe take a punt on a Newcastle asset, as long as they're going to be playing up front, like an Alanga, that sort of thing. I think I would have Haaland. I think I would captain Haaland this week if I had him. And then, obviously, Chris Wood with the great fixture. I would probably go double up defensively, not Anderson in midfield. And then maybe Sanchez in goal. I think your lineup could be perfect then. And then I would just avoid Liverpool, Arsenal completely. And just kind of hope that the rest of the fixtures do well. Kirill, thank you for the super chat, saying keep up the great work, mate. Best regards. Thank you. Do appreciate it, brother. Hopefully you have a good weekend. Why aren't you considering Kudos? I just don't know about Spurs with... I mean, the fixtures are fine. And the fixtures do look pretty okay, actually. I did like Saar, and it's just the fact that the stats for Kudos aren't fantastic. I mean, his XG involvements. His XG is not okay, can you guys even see this? Yeah, you can. His XG is not fantastic, but it's okay. XG involvement 0.2, 0.28. So now let's look at Saar. I don't think Saar is going to be fantastic. It's just last season he was so good. Okay, against Chelsea it wasn't very high, 0.1. But against Nottingham Forest it was quite high, 0.59. He did get 1 goal scored though. I think it's just the Sunderland West Ham that I'm looking at. I don't even think Aston Villa is that bad of a fixture. But yeah, Kudos is fine. That's between Kudos, Saar and Semenyo, it's quite close. Like Semenyo looks decent. Like 0.9 against Liverpool is good. 0.86 is... Oh, it's actually higher. 0.7. Fixtures are okay. Spurs, Brighton, Newcastle, Leeds. I think the fixtures are slightly worse than the others. But he's obviously a better option. Probably from like an XG point of view. Bringing him in around game week 12 will look quite nice. Like on a wild card, game week 12, 13. Yeah, it's just that Sunderland West Ham game that I'm liking the look of. And I kind of backed Saar in my midfielder review at the start in the preseason. Nikhil's been a legend member. I swear that you've been a legend member before, Nikhil, but welcome back. Put up a poll. What you guys want in the poll? What's the poll? Okay, we can do a poll. Let me end this poll. Are you talking about which midfielder? Because I think Chris Wood is pretty locked in. Who's another option we could go for? It's Saar, Semenyo, Kudos. I'm just going to go for those three because I think those three are on my mind. Okay, Saar, Kudos, Semenyo. Saar, Kudos, Semenyo. Okay, you guys can vote on this poll. I will not lie to you guys though. I don't usually do what you guys vote, so just vote what you would do, yeah. Bench Saar or Reinders? I'd bench Saar. I like Reinders. I think they will be good. Easy accounting. We make it easy, saying I'm not sure who to captain. Richarlison, Haaland, or Cunha. Was thinking I'd risk it. No, I would go Haaland. If you have Haaland, for me, it's kind of a no-brainer. Thank you for the super chat, though. Yeah, I think if I had Haaland, I would captain him. I'll give the poll a little bit, and then we'll make transfers with 10 minutes to go. How's it, Gunawani? How are you doing? Would you look to move on the Villa players soon? The only thing about Villa players is their fixtures are good for the medium term. I don't think you guys can see this, but Like just above me here, it's Burnley, Sunderland, Everton. Everton's not the best, but it's not too bad. Their fixtures are good for the medium term, and that's why I do like them. Palmer Bone for Semenyo Pedro, bench Palmer and do Bowen Anderson for Caicedo Wood. I like the Semenyo Pedro. I think taking out Palmer's okay. Like the form hasn't been fantastic. Time is running. Yeah, we'll make moves with 10 minutes to go. After watching United midweek, there's no way I'm captaining Bruno, says Connor. Are you a United fan? Make transfers. I will make the transfers. Don't worry. I'm just confirming some stuff. Do you think... I think Chris Wood is probably pretty secure. Like, I think I almost have to. Bring in Semenyo later. Kudos has slightly better fixtures than Saar, but Saar's a good FPS. It's cheaper. And also Saar's the cheapest, is he not? How much is Kudos? Okay, Kudos and Saar basically the same price. Semenyo is... I think Semenyo is the better option, but he is more expensive. And I just worry about that limiting me in the future. Now, Kudos has some good fixtures. Still, game week 7, they actually look pretty decent. And then let's look at Saar. Let me just check something quick. Yeah, I think I still like Saar. The only thing is that Saar is playing in Europe soon, right? Where Semenyo won't. Okay, so I think Chris Wood is nailed. I think Chris Wood is nailed. It's just who do I go for Palmer? Okay, let's look at the poll. Saar's 44%. Okay, so should I actually go with what you guys are saying now? This is my first stream watching this season. Good luck and everyone. MD10, thank you. Sorry, it's the first stream you're watching, but hopefully it's been enjoyable. And hopefully I see you back for more. Sean Larson benched. Yeah, I don't think he's benched. I think he's out of the squad. It's just Semenyo is a lot more expensive than my other options. I think I'm going to go for Saar. That's who I had in my mind since the beginning. Okay, cool. Let's make these transfers. So it's Palmer to Saar and Gay to Wood. And I'm going to confirm that. And then I want to put Chris Wood on for Saar. And then just make sure this. And then I think I'm still going to captain Bruno. Or do you think Chris Wood is too hard to ignore here? I think that's the current team. Captain Chris Wood. Do you think it's a Chris Wood captain? Let me just post this to Discord. Bruno's playing very deep. I think Chris Wood is a better captaincy option. You're not starting Saar. I'm not starting Saar, but I think Saar's going to come on for Strand Larsen anyways. It's just if Strand Larsen magically does start, at least have him because he's on penalties against Everton. Should be okay. Put the faith in Wood. I mean... I think I don't know. I feel like the fixtures. I think I'm still gonna go for Bruno just for like this the avenues for points. Yeah, I don't think he's a great option either. But I think he has a high ceiling if he does play, and triple captain is the way to go. Sorry, I'm just posting this to YouTube as well. When do United play? Let me see. Okay, United play today and Forest play tomorrow. Okay, let me end this poll. Let me do a quick... Okay, final poll. You guys can vote. Who the captain? Chris Wood or Bruno? Let me know. Strand Larsen probably will be benched. Harry, ownership is pretty similar between them. And I think more people will captain Bruno than Wood this week. I just feel like, let's say that United keep a clean sheet. Maybe Bruno gets some DEFCON threat. That's already like a little bit of a haul there with no attacking returns. Thoughts on benching Saar versus Rangers? I'd bench Saar, Gia. West Ham aren't good. They lost 5-1 and 3-2 goals. Would be hot this week. Yeah, I feel like Wood will be good. It's just I'm thinking about the ceiling. Start Saar over Larsen. Yeah, MD, I think Saar's going to come off the bench anyways. Out of Saar, Rodgers, and Salah, who to bench? I'd bench Saar. Bench one from Konza Richards as well as one from Reinders Semenyo Rodgers. Bench one from Konza. I'd bench Richards. And I would bench Reinders out of those options. Just because he might not start. Saar has a good record. Yes, he does. Guys, don't worry. Strand Larsen will be coming off the bench. Well, Strand Larsen will be benched probably. I'm just starting him. I think he's a better option if he does play from the start. Thoughts on Marilla as the captain? I never like to captain a defender. Bruno captain locked. It's not locked. I'm tossing and turning here, deciding. Yeah, I think the Bruno captain's locked. But as mentioned, if you guys have Haaland, I would go for him rather. Would you start Reinders or Wirtz? I'd start Wirtz, kid. This is the week where the comeback begins. For us or United, Sadesh, but actually both are linked, which doesn't make me feel too happy. West Ham have conceded 8 goals in 2 games. That is true. And that's why I brought in Chris Wood at the end of the day. And that's what makes this tough. Is I brought in Chris Wood because I think he's going to do well. But Does he have the highest ceiling out of the rest of my players? I don't know. But I guess here I'm captaining floor maybe, because Bruno has the highest floor, I'd probably say. Connor, so what's happening with Strand Larsen? He's not going to be on the bench. He's either going to start or he's not going to be in the team. And it looks like he's not in the team because he wasn't even with Wolves at the hotel. So I don't even think he's going to be featuring. I'm confused about the double Forest defenders, Trong. Why are you confused about them? That's actually like the part that I'm most happy about with my team. Locking in Bruno, yeah, I think I'm going to lock in Bruno. Sar's a good record, yes. Okay, guys, as I mentioned, like Sar is almost 99% coming off the bench. What position do you play on the football pitch? I largely just play five-a-side, so like kind of everywhere. But I've been more defending recently, where I did my ankle. So why take the risk? So the risk is if both players were to start, I think Strand Larsen is better than Sar. That's the risk. So what I'm kind of hoping for is that this whole thing about an injury was just a story because he was considering the transfer. But now that he's not moving, maybe he's back in the team. I don't know. But as people have mentioned, he hasn't been with the Wolves team at the hotel, so it looks like he is out. And the reports are that he's out, so... Bruno Hattie incoming. I don't know if United are capable of scoring 3 goals, but we shall see. Yeah, Captain Bruno. Surprised no one... Samuel, a lot of people have been speaking about João Pedro this stream. ChatGPT recommends. Just make sure you had web search on, otherwise they might be looking at old data. United are weak. But that doesn't mean that Bruno can't score points. And I feel like with the way this game might set up, is it might be a game where Bruno might be getting more forward in possession. But I know there's no logical explanation to captaining a United player after their form. It's just that I still feel like Bruno's a good FPL option. But yeah, I think for me, I'm slowly getting into it. You know, I wasn't even transferring in Chris Wood ever, and now I am getting him. So I'm slowly getting into like. Maybe next week we captain him against Arsenal. Hopefully a green arrow this week, yeah. We do have about, how long, like 30 seconds left? 15 seconds left. Okay, good. Jacobus, you are premature, brother. Unfortunately, you are too soon. We have 8 seconds left. Luckily, we locked in the moves and everything a bit earlier so that you guys could look at that. But it is officially TUPD time. Time up, pens down. If you know, you know. I think this stream was a bit more chilled. I know that the United captain isn't going to be favorable with a lot of people, but it's where we did land on, and the moves do look good. I think they're okay. I think it's going to be an interesting week. Obviously, the transfer window does shut fairly shortly. So are there going to be any shock deadline moves? I think there's going to be a couple of big ones. And then we do have an international break. So you know what? You guys can have a little bit of a break from FPL. I just hope we enter the international break on a massive green arrow. So I'm going to let you guys get back to your Saturday morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you guys are around the world. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the continued support. And I'll see you for all that Game Week 4 content, hopefully with a better looking rank. But for the time being, I'm going to be signing off. It's been Davey FPL, and I'm out. Cheers. Bye.